Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Rogers Kakasungura YouTube channel. Yesterday was on Friday. I did not make it to the bench because in my church I had a young man who was becoming a husband. So, and a young girl who was becoming a wife. So I was preparing for that wedding the entire of yesterday, and I'm happy that we now have a husband and wife officially. So that is where I was yesterday. To those of you who were asking me, kaka ulienda wapi? So nilikuwa kwa harusi ya vijana wangu wawili who were marrying each other yesterday. So congratulations to Pastor David and Madam Lydia as you begin your new life in marriage. Anyway, back to politics. Ladies and gentlemen, William Ruto attended the National Music Festival. Yes, it was in Eldoret yesterday. And he made a speech. I want to share for you that speech, and then from there, we shall analyze it and try to understand what it means. And this is William Ruto's speech.
We have also agreed that Treasury, TSC, and the teaching fraternity sit together and look at the possibilities of ensuring that we implement our commitment as government so that we avoid unnecessary industrial action in that space and avoid interruptions in our institutions of learning. So that engagement is going to happen, and I want to tell the leadership of all those who are concerned, all the stakeholders, to work together for the interest of our children, respecting also what is due to our teaching fraternity. So we will work with the teachers. I have already given instructions to Treasury to work with the Teacher Service Commission and the leadership of our teaching fraternity, both at the NAT and the COPET level and also at the other university levels. So it is our intention to make sure that we keep our education space in good shape, because education is the greatest equalizer, and we need to make sure that every child has access to quality learning.
Now, just to make you briefly understand what William Ruto is talking about, as you all know, it is in the public domain that the Kenya National Union of Post-Primary Education, that is COPET, the Secretary General Okello Misori has announced a nationwide teachers' strike beginning the 26th of August 2024. Schools are reopening on the same 26th. So Okello Misori is telling the government that reopening of schools is a dream if you cannot honor the agreement between the TSC and the teachers. Now, this is a litmus test. COPET's National Governing Council met last week on Thursday at the Nairobi, at the Kasarani Gymnasium, and the Kenya Union of Teachers, that is KNUT, or NAT, as most of you pronounce it, they also discussed, that was yesterday, Friday, they also discussed a nationwide strike during the National Executive Council. Ladies and gentlemen, the strike, according to the information, stems from the government's failure to allocate 13.3 billion for the second phase of the 2021-2025 CBA collective bargaining agreement. And this was a critical agreement between the government and the teachers. It was negotiated, it was signed, and filed in court. So, but to date, according to the teachers, the CBA remains unimplemented. The teachers sat down with the Minister of Education. They consolidated, they strategized, they came to an agreement. They decided to sign a CBA, collective bargaining agreement. They signed, but up to date, according to Okello Missouri, that CBA has never been implemented. Now, the COPET and the NAT, as of yesterday, Friday, had already held their meetings to discuss the way forward. This was just a background. Now, you've heard William Ruto say that due to the forthcoming teachers' strike, he has directed the Ministry of Education and the Treasury to sit and agree to solve the looming strike so that we do not paralyze learning institutions come 26th of August 2024. What am I trying to say in this whole issue? Ruto is now cutting himself from the blame of the teachers' strike. Mumesikia sasa yeye is directing. He is telling Treasury, nyinyi go sit with the Minister of Education and with the relevant leaders. Tafuta mkutano, mketi chini and solve this issue. So according to Ruto's speech, he is simply telling the Treasury and Minister of Education, mimi sitaki kusikia mambo ya strike on 26th. Why? As the president, we do not want to paralyze education. This is going to be a litmus paper to Migos Ogamba, the CS for Education, and John Mbadi, the Treasury CS. John Mbadi has previously vowed to make tremendous changes in the Ministry of Treasury so that the past mistakes witnessed in the Kenya Kwanza government previously is not going to reoccur. You cannot be a leader if you can't solve a crisis. We cannot record you in the books of history as a leader if you cannot be able to beat a crisis. A leader's power is tested in times of a crisis. Once you solve that crisis is when we say wewe umekuwa kiongozi. The competence of a leader, the success of a leader is determined after solving a problem, after enduring a crisis, after reuniting a cracking country. Like now, Migos Ogamba's competence is going to be proved depending on how he is going to navigate the teachers' strike that is being announced on 26th. John Mbadi has been brought on board. So John Mbadi's competence is going to be ranked after the teachers' strike or before the teachers' strike. How they are going to sit together and consolidate, how they are going to approach the strike is going to determine if they are going to succeed in their respective ministries or they are going to fail. So Migos is a brand new CS, and the teacher strike is going to baptize him to the service. Yes, it is going to introduce him to the service. God bless you, ladies and gentlemen. Keep subscribing. The only way you can support Kakasungura is by clicking that subscribe button. And remember to turn on your notification bell. This is important because once I upload a video next time, even if you are offline, YouTube automatically notifies you. Lastly, we will continue to do charity work. We said we are taking a rest. The whole of last week we've been resting. There are so many cases in our custody. We are going to go through them and find those that pass the threshold, and then we shall announce to support that case in due course. Thank you. God bless you. Asanteni sana.